Again, keep in mind that all of that being done with the understanding that it's done from the top down. So not because you want to get here, you start wiping your eye upwards. You start wiping the water upwards. Continuing on, the water must come in contact with the face of the individual without any barriers. And this is an important part. Later on, we will speak on the concept of jabira. Jabira is any splint or any bandage or anything that is used to cover up a specific area due to a wound, a sore, and also, for example, or a form of ulceration on the face or anywhere else, or a splint for the concept of breakage or what have you. Other than that, the individual must ensure that the water comes in contact with the skin. So for our sisters that wear the burqa or the niqab, they can't simply wipe over that burqa or that niqab. Or if our brother, for example, one of our brothers has a wound on the back of his head, for example, and has a wrap that covers all the way to the front of his face, cannot just simply wipe over that or wash that. So that has to come in contact with the face, specifically with the face, with the skin of the face. The second part is washing the right arm. Now, washing the right arm is quite common that brothers and sisters make a mistake in washing their arms. Why? Because they consider washing their arms here. However, as a precaution, when we wash our arm, the limits are from the elbow to the tip of the finger. Keeping in mind that the elbow is the top and the tip of the finger is the bottom. So when you wash, you must ensure that you start from just above the elbow, so that the elbow is included, because that's the starting point of the wudu. So therefore, you have to ensure that you start from the top and you wash downwards. So after you pour the water, you wash downwards. So washing from the top to the tip of the fingers. Now, again, as we said, it is permissible to start from the fingers to the elbow. Sorry, it is not permissible to start from the fingers to the elbow, nor from the middle of the arm to the fingers. So you can't, for example, take water this way and start washing backwards. Why? Because this is considered the bottom of your arm. Even though right now it might be the top, but in actuality it is the bottom of your arm. So when you start washing, you can't simply just take water, as I've seen a lot of brothers and sisters do, and they let the water roll backwards and they start washing backwards. That's unacceptable. So you have to pour water from the top and wash downwards. Likewise, you cannot pour water from the bottom of your arm and wash downwards, as some do. Continuing on, inshallah, the individual must ensure the water covers all the area within question, and that is a common understanding in all of the wudu with the ghusl, is that it must, the whole area must be covered, so you cannot leave an area uncovered. Adding to that is that this must be done with the intention of doing wudu. And we will cover those bases a bit later on. What are the requirements of wudu? First and foremost being the intention that what you are doing is wudu. Again, as we said earlier, that the washing must be done without a barrier. There should not be a barrier. However, there is an exception, and that exemption is the concept of jabira. As we said, the issue with a splint or a bandage for medicinal purposes, of those who might have on their hand, on their arm, on their face, on their foot, a cut or a sore or an ulcer or a break, where the wrap or the type of bandage that is placed on the area cannot be removed, or removing it will cause harm, or getting that bandage wet, getting that cut wet would cause harm. It is enough for that individual simply to wipe on top of the jabira, and we will continue with the ahkam al-jabira later on, inshallah, instead of washing the area. And it is not required to remove the jabira if it causes harm or puts the individual in distress. So for example, say that I have a lesion right here, and I have a jabira, I have a bandage on it covering it. When I come to wash my arm, if removing this jabira causes harm, or causes distress, or causes the ailment to prolong, or causes me pain, I do not have to remove it. Specifically, if water harms it, I cannot remove it. So what I do in that case is what we're supposed to do is we wash around the jabira. So say that the jabira is right here. We would wash around this jabira. We would completely wash everything. Then we would simply wipe on top of that jabira, and that should be sufficient. Continuing on. The third point is washing the left arm. Now, washing the left arm is done in the exact same method as washing the right arm. The fourth point is wiping the top of the head. Now, wudu is split into two parts. One part is washing, the second part is wiping. Washing is the face and both arms. Wiping is the top of your forehead and the top of both feet. So when wiping the head, you start, we should say that from the top of the head to the hairline. So the limit is from the top of the head to the hairline. So if you would divide your head into four parts, top, right, left, and back, you would wipe from the top to the hairline. The exact same place where you started at when you washed your face, that would be the limit of wiping on the head. However, there is a minimum and a maximum of how much one would wipe. It says with one finger as a minimum, and as a recommendation, it should be 3 fingers pulled together. So you can either wipe with 3 fingers from the top to the tip of the forehead, or to the hairline. That's the recommendation. The minimum required amount is 1 finger. 1 finger is the minimum required amount. Now it could be this finger, it could be any other finger, it could be if you have a lot of hair, for example, and that hair falls outside the parameters, that you would wipe with only 1 finger to cover that area. Continuing on, it is not an obligation to wipe the scalp itself. Rather, wiping the hair directly, or the hair that is directly attached to the scalp, is enough, under the condition that the hair being wiped does not pass the point where the hair grows. So some of our brothers and some of our sisters might have long flowing hair. If they wipe, so say that they have some sort of hairdo that brings the hair backwards on itself, or on the top of their head, like with some of our brothers, if they wipe on top of that hair, that is not sufficient. Why? Because that hair is not from the actual scalp. Or maybe that hair is from the actual scalp, but however it's done in a do where it sits here. Or maybe if for example, if you want to wipe right here and the hair overflows to here, the hair that you're wiping on comes outside of the border. So therefore, the individual must ensure that they're wiping on the hair that is attached to the actual scalp. How do we know that? If you would take your hands and you would kind of do this with your hair, it is the hair that is on the actual scalp that has to be wiped. Or if your hair is short enough so that when you wipe it, that hair does not fall out of the borders of what is being wiped, of the top of the head. Inshallah, we will continue on with the provisions. Wiping must be done with the leftover moisture from the previous wash. As we said, we have 3 washes and 3 wipes, meaning that you wash your face, you wash your right arm, and you wash your left arm. Then you use the moisture that is left over from that washing of the wudu. That is what you use to wipe. You cannot use foreign water unless it is required. So I have just finished washing my left arm. I have completely finished now. When I come to wipe the top of my forehead, of course you wouldn't wipe it on top of the skull cap here. You would remove this and you would wipe the top with the moisture left over. So you would not put your hand again under the water and wipe with that. That now is considered foreign water. What you want to do is you want to complete the wudu with the same water that is left over from washing.